I tell people the truth. In every company, the key is to stay ahead of the curve. You kidding me? I still...
In the hyper-competitive restaurant industry, where an average of 50,000 businesses in the U.S. close each year, success requires exceptional leadership. Enter Schaich, the pioneer behind Panera Bread, whose fast casual concept ushered in a whole new way of eating in America. Now the trendsetter is looking to build on his stellar track record with the next generation of restaurants. His biggest leadership secrets as he looks to change the restaurant game yet again: lead with empathy, authenticity, and don't be scared to lean into fear.
I always grew up trying to understand and listen. I would argue the most important leadership trait, certainly in the kind of businesses I'm in, is empathy. The ability to feel other people, to be able to stay present, trying to learn and figure things out, not jumping to the conclusion. I'm often given credit for being one of the originators or first people to do fast casual. And it was really the process of staying present and listening to consumers that got there.
With Panera, Schaich proved the fast casual model works. The chain grew under his leadership from just 19 locations in 1993 to more than 2,000 by 2017. He's now using these same principles, but as an investor in new ventures, such as the organic, plant-based cafe Life Alive.
How have you led people to drive this success?
I tell people the truth. I talk about the 800-pound gorillas. I don't talk with fluff. I talk in a way, I hope, that comes from my heart and is authentic. And I think people respond to that. I have always put a lot of time into trying to figure out not what I want to say as much as how are people going to hear it? How are people going to read it? And how do I use a metaphor? How do I use language? How do I use focus to help them understand what matters?
What was your biggest fear as a leader, and how did you overcome that?
Well, my biggest fear as a leader, having run a public company for 37 years, was that I would let down the people that believed in me. I would let down the people in our organization. I would let down the investors who invested with me. I would let down my responsibility to our society. As a leader, I actually think that the way to run a company, and the larger it gets, the more so, is to come at it with an element of anxiety, to understand, again, discover today what can hurt you tomorrow and prophylactically deal with it.
Sounds like constant living in fear.
I think it's constantly living with the materiality of what you're dealing with. The reality is that whenever you go down the road, in anything in life, whether it be in a relationship, in a business, in a career, it's what's so fundamental is taking that leap and knowing you don't quite know where it's going to take you.
That's me.
As someone who founded businesses,
There has to be personal setbacks along the way. Things you, as a leader, as a human being, have to give up. How have you dealt with that and those challenges through the years?
Well, Brian, it's a simple statement. There is no such thing as balance in life. There is only trade-offs. And so one goes into it prepared to make trade-offs. But my kids knew when I was a CEO that this was so important to me. It was a third child. I make the appropriate trade-offs. My life has been essentially about the organizations that I've led, my family, my kids, and trying to exercise. I didn't play golf on weekends. There wasn't balance. There was commitment and a recognition that, everything has its price. And I knew that if I was going to serve as the leader, I owed it to the people that were believing in me. I owed them to give them everything I could.
Ron, we're standing outside one of the hottest IPOs really in the past couple years, but certainly this year it is Cava. And oh yeah, it is a
another company you invested in.
I hope you'd say it's one of the greatest companies in this industry. I think the team that's running it, Brett Schulman, our CEO, and our team have done an amazing job.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. What did you see in this chain that made you want to put your hard-earned dollars behind it?
I first saw a powerful niche in Mediterranean. I thought this had the potential to be one of the most powerful niches in the restaurant industry. Second, I saw in Cava the potential to be a dominant brand in that niche or in that category.
What leadership advice do you give the CEO of Cava, given you're a battle-tested veteran? And what do you tell someone like him?
I keep helping Brett think about what is going to happen in a year and 2 and 3, and how do we prepare for those today? Because the reality is, in every company, the key is to stay ahead of the curve. Come on.
While it doesn't have the same Wall Street excitement around it like Cava, one of Ron's most beloved investments is the 30-location restaurant Tate, which features baked goods, coffee, and a Mediterranean American menu.
What's your hope for your portfolio?
The dream is that we're part of building a half dozen or more extraordinary businesses. I have this great sensation. I walk out on the street and I walk into Tate, and next door is a Life Alive, and down the street is a Cava, and around the corner is a Level 99. It's an amazing feeling to walk down these streets that I built so many restaurants in and see restaurants that are touching people, that are engaging people.
Do you see yourself as a visionary? Does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, I absolutely do. I think that the thing I feel the best about, that I think is my blessing and my gift, is to really do what it takes in having the ability to really determine today what's going to matter tomorrow, and to understand that and really reach that conclusion before other people. And if there's anything I do, that's what I do.
Do you think what you've done in the restaurant industry has flown under the radar? Do you think you've got the credit you deserve?
I feel like ultimately what matters is your own self-respect. And so I guess the answer to your question very specifically is I know what I've been a part of, I know what I've done, and I feel very much blessed to have had a chance to be a part of that, to have done it, and to have lived the life I have lived, and I hopefully will live for many, many more years.